Hello and welcome back to Miami Realty Rundown. I am Ideal.
Carlos.
And today we are diving into the best market out there, which is the condo market. Sorry. See what I mean?
See, she can't even push it through.
We're diving into the condo market, guys. It is so much fun, so much to say about the condo market because let's be real, it is something that is,
Out of this world.
yes, entertaining. Not enough time to talk about it really, but
We'll try
we'll
and
try.
condense it as much as possible.
So I'll start with an example.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I currently have a condo on the market. It's been over 250 days,
Yeah.
I want to say.
Sounds right.
And I feel like that's normal in today's world. It's frustrating for the seller because obviously they put it on the market with the sole purpose of selling it. But what we try to explain is that the condo market is an animal on its own.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I would definitely agree.
Okay. Why? HOA fees are rising. In addition to that, you have special assessments being added to the HOA fees.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the reasons why sellers need to sell because they can no longer pay for it. And most of these sellers have been living in these apartments or condos since
For a while.
for a very long time. Most are retired and they cannot afford
Right.
these new payments, right? Maybe they have it paid off, great. But now you're talking about $600, $700 in association with special assessments that they can no longer afford because they have their social security or their government issued finances and they can't with groceries, everything else that they have to pay for, they just can't anymore. So back to my story. On the market for 250 days, over. It was under contract one time. The deal fell through. We're under contract again, finally. We had to extend closing. We were supposed to close this week. The lender asked for an additional 2 weeks because they wanted to see, the underwriters were asking for the condo questionnaire. To see if there were any underlying issues with the structural part of it, and a few other things. They were also asking for the master insurance policy because they wanted to make sure that the insurance
Have the proper
has
coverage.
enough coverage. So it's been a wild one,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that tomorrow Monday we'll have answers for this. So we're just kind of sitting on the fence waiting for some sort of response from the lender. So we'll keep you guys posted. Hopefully next time we come around, we'll have an update and I'll be able to tell you we closed. We did it.
I'm praying for you.
Thanks.
I really am. So why is it happening? So condo sales have declined about 9% year over year,
Yep.
right? And this all kind of started with the Chaplin Towers South in Surfside.
Surfside.
That set off the whole shebang,
Yep.
right? So everything that everyone was doing wrong for the previous 40, 50, 60 years came to realization in that collapse. So now the county, or really the state, started implementing new code guidelines, right? Which opened up a can of worms, to put it politely. And everyone started scattering, right? So if you got to sell, I would say within the last 2 years, you were good. You got away from it. If you are now trying to sell, now you're dealing with everything that Ideal just mentioned. You're dealing with special assessments. Some of them are in 20, 30, 40,000, which obviously ruins your ability, or the buyer's ability, to finance. Because not only do you have your mortgage payment, you have your condo fee, your maintenance fee, your regular fee, which has gone up, and now you have to tack on a special assessment. So, like, I have one that's, the special assessment alone is $1,200 a month,
Wow.
on top of the $800 in maintenance. That's in itself is a mortgage payment for a house,
Wow.
right? So how do you sell that?
Right.
How does a buyer? So you can't sell it at market anymore
No.
because the market is one.
Right.
You have the market has its own value, but now when you tack on all these other things, it's unaffordable.
And we're seeing a lot of those uh, price cuts,
Yes,
particularly in the condo
especially in the
market.
condo market.
And a lot of sellers are willing to negotiate and say, "Listen, I'll pay half, right, of the special assessment, or if not all of it,
Or all of it.
because at some point they have to sell, so they're willing to take that cut from their gains."
And I'll tell you another story, right? So we never, she hasn't put it on the market yet, but there is one specific condo. I'm not going to mention it because I don't want, backlash. But there's a specific condominium that started their 40-year recertification, right? So they did the roof, they did certain things. Now, the association never finished paying off the roofer,
Oh boy.
right? There was still a balance left, which I think has been resolved now. But when she called me, I was like, "You can't sell it." She was like, "Why can't I sell it?" I was like, "Because there's a lien against the entire building. And until that lien is not resolved, there's nobody's going to sell. Nobody's going to refinance. There's no bank in the world that's going to lend money, unless we have a cash buyer.
Right.
But it's not happening. So even condos are experiencing their own problems because they don't have the funds to do all these repairs. So they have to tack it on to every other owner.
That's why they come up with a special
Right.
assessment.
So and the condo world experienced something, I want to say similar, a few years back with the boom, when everybody was being foreclosed. Other unit owners had to pick up the slack,
Yes.
right? So there were special assessments because obviously if you have half the building not paying their maintenance,
Correct.
the other half has to pick up the slack.
Yes.
Otherwise they can't function.
Yep.
So there were special assessments for that. It wasn't as bad as this, but still it had its own downfall. So that's one problem. So the problem started with the 40-year recertifications.
Yes.
Now every building has to do it.
Yeah.
So not only does the condo have to obviously go through their 40-year recertification, now you need what's called a milestone inspection report.
Yes.
They also need to do a structural integrity reserve study, a SIRS,
Sirs.
right? And those cost money because they involve engineers and architects. And they're not cheap. And they just have to do them. Whether they have to do the 40-year or not, they have to do them. And they have to do them every so often.
And some haven't
And some haven't done it.
And you have consumers wanting to purchase in that condominium.
Right.
So then it's like that's another setback.
And then lenders are going to ask for it.
Yep. And they don't
And the
have
buyer should have it because you need to look at it
it.
now.
Right.
Because you are investing in the future. And if that building's going to have problems 5-10 years down the road, you want to know it now so that you can either prepare or say, no, I don't want to buy it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So there's a lot. There's so much. I mean, we could talk about this forever.
Yes.
Right? The financing difficulties, everything that we just mentioned creates a financing difficulty. You just can't, you can't buy it at market, or it's harder. I want to say you can't because there's possibilities that you can, but it's harder to buy at market value with all these obstacles in your way.
And not only that, the rising inventory in condos too.
Right.
Make it difficult. So now you're competing with. You're not just the only one on the market. There could be 20 others for sale in that building. So it's tough, especially when they're bringing their price down or offering to pay off a special assessment. Not necessarily every seller can do that.
Right.
So it's hard to compete.
So another example. I'm full of examples. There's a lot of people trying to get rid of or trying to sell their condos. So there's one that I have listed. It's in Lauderhill. There's no special assessment,
Nice.
right? Because the association actually did what they were supposed to do.
Nice.
They
Those
have
are hard to come by.
They're hard to come by. The maintenance is high. It's in the 800s because of everything that they had to do, and now they have to implement reserves. Reserves are required now, as opposed to before it wasn't required. And uh, there's about 30 units for sale.
Wow.
30. Price drop, price drop, price drop, price drop, because you're competing with all of them.
Exactly.
You know, some have been renovated. The one I have has been renovated, and it's still not selling. You know, so it's a difficult market. If you're a condo owner and you're looking to sell, yes, expect to wait. If you're in a rush, you got to price it relatively low to get rid of it. You know, and it's bad for you. I get it. We understand that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is right now.
With the conditions that we're in now, we kind of just have to, pick our battles.
Yeah,
right?
you have to weather the storm.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Another thing is insurance. A lot of them have been hit with big insurance premiums.
Which is what I'm going through now.
Right. And some condo boards have chosen to do
A reduction.
no, they what they do is instead of 5% deductible, they'll do a 10% deductible or a 15, and that disqualifies them from financing. So
Wow.
the lenders won't lend if you have a high deductible. You have to have a lower deductible. But in order to keep the maintenance affordable or as affordable as possible,
Exactly. They're
they
cutting
choose
back.
the higher deductible.
Yeah, they're cutting back on their expenses for the insurance.
So it's a catch-22. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of investor hesitation
Yeah.
for condos. They do rent, but again, your initial investment is high because you got to deal with the high maintenance and special assessments.
Yeah.
So I mean, all around, I don't know. I don't know what else we can do for our clients or.
I mean, it's hard, right? No matter how much marketing you do, people are hesitant.
They're hesitant. Yes.
Especially, okay, so a condo is priced, can be priced at $250, which is attractive to many people.
Right.
But when they are told they have to come in with a 20 or 25% down payment, most of these first-time home buyers don't have that amount of cash, right? In addition to their closing costs. So it's difficult to come up with $30,000 to $35,000 for a condo, for an apartment. It's hard. So no matter how much marketing we do, yes, the price is attractive, but it's a higher down payment for someone who is using this home as their first purchase or their first-time home buyer,
So I mean, I think condos right now are good for the first-time young couple.
Sure.
Right, so they can at least get their feet wet.
Right. Use it as leverage.
Use it as leverage. It's not. You can negotiate, right?
Absolutely.
You can definitely, if you're interested, if you're looking at a condo, regardless of the price, I say go see it and try and negotiate the best price for you.
Right.
Because I can almost, I don't want to say 100% because nothing is ever 100%,
Right.
but there's a very high likelihood that owner is going to be very willing to negotiate with you. And if they're not, they're idiots. They're stupid. Because I don't think there's any other way around it.
Yeah.
You have to negotiate. You have to be willing
To be open to it.
Yes.
Right.
Work with that buyer. We have a chart or a statistic that we want to bring up on the screen now so you guys can check it out. So right now, as of recently, there's enclosed sales for condos and townhomes, because some townhomes are considered condos. We've only had 1,005 closed sales. That's 21% less than a year ago. All right. In median sales price is about 445,000. So that's about 0.2%
Higher.
from higher than last year.
Look at the active
Yeah,
inventory.
the active inventory. You know how many condos are out there right now being sold? 13,238
43% increase
from last year.
from last year.
It's crazy. So in dollar volume, we have 851 million sold, right? That's still 17% less than last year.
Yes.
So we have more inventory, less sales.
Yep.
New listings recently is 2,338. That's an increase, obviously, of 4.6% from last year.
And the pending sales
Are down.
Yep. So when you look at the active inventory and new listings compared to the pending sales,
Yeah,
it's nothing.
it's nothing.
It is nothing. It's a
a-
25% decrease.
Yeah,
Decrease, sorry, from a year ago.
It's a drop in the bucket.
It's a lot. A lot. So that, when I said the condo market is an animal on its own, I
Yeah.
meant it.
We-
Like it's a
we weren't
completely
kidding.
different.
So, yes, I think it's if you're in the market for a condo, really only because of your situation. Obviously, everyone has different price points.
Correct.
Condos are obviously on the lower price point. If it's a good starter home, like I said,
Yeah, for sure.
right? For sure. You don't have all the maintenance upkeep of a house, the
Yeah.
roof, a million other things to worry about. It's less things to worry about.
And who knows, maybe at one point it makes sense to leave it rented. You don't have to resell it.
It's always
Really?
anything that you buy that's always an option. Always consider
Correct.
that an option, because you can always rent that property and move on to something bigger and better.
Correct.
And it's just passive income always coming in.
Yep.
It has its headaches, but so does everything else. So yeah, guys, I mean, if you have something that you need to sell right now, contact myself or Ideal, or if you prefer using your own realtor, that's great. Just make sure you get educated and you are prepared to kind of sit and wait, or put it at a very low price where you get a lot of attention,
Yep.
because you're competing with the other units. So
That's really what it boils down to.
yeah,
Understanding the condo market, because there's a market, right? But I also feel like a condo market is completely
it's
separate.
a separate market.
Very separate.
Yeah.
So understanding that is crucial, especially if you are a seller in the condo market.
Okay. So give your comments if you have any. We're happy to answer them. Subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.